Okay, just about 2 more minutes here and we'll get things rolling.
Then we can see.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Livermore. For our Rotarians, thanks for all you do for our club and our community, both near and far. And today is a very special day because today we are celebrating our annual Youth in Government Day. I've attended Youth in Government Day for about 15 years, as Mark Roberts has been doing that for us. And today, Paul Spence will be introducing Youth in Government ceremonies. So we look forward to having you up here on the podium, Paul. Okay, next, we need to have a Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Irv Stowers to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Songsters.
Well, welcome everyone. We just love our country, America, so much we wanted to sing America the Beautiful with you.
Our
Our songsters never cease to amaze with that beautiful rendition of America the Beautiful. And Carolyn Siegfried is here to give us a thought for the day. Carolyn?
Thank you, President Pat. So I chose a thought today that's appropriate for Youth in Government Day. And what I'm going to share is from an address that President Franklin Roosevelt gave to the University of Pennsylvania in honor of the university's 200th anniversary. And this comes from the end of that speech or address that was given in September 1940. So in the words of FDR, Benjamin Franklin, to whom this university owes so much, realized too that while basic principles of natural science, of morality, and of the science of society were eternal and immutable, the application of these principles necessarily changes with the patterns of living conditions from generation to generation. I am certain that he would insist, were he with us today, that it is the whole duty of the philosopher and the educator to apply the eternal ideals of truth and goodness and justice in terms of the present and not in terms of the past. Growth and change are the law of all life. Yesterday's answers are inadequate for today's problems, just as the solutions of today will not fill the needs of tomorrow. Eternal truths will be neither true nor eternal unless they have fresh meaning for every new social situation. It is the function of education, the function of all great institutions of learning in the United States, to provide continuity for our national life, to transmit to youth the best of our culture that has been tested in the fire of history. It is equally the obligation of education to train the minds and the talents of our youth to improve through creative citizenship our American institutions in accord with the requirements of the future. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. Thank you, FDR.
Thank you, Carolyn, for that especially meaningful thought for the day for today. Really poignant. Next up, meeting front line, we have Spur reporter Joel Swanson, Spur publisher Ted Michaels, photographer Irv Stowers, audiovisual Paul McCandless. Thanks for all the work you've done this week, Paul, on slide decks, etc. Audiovisual, just covered you, Paul. Next, reader Linda Tinney over there. Thanks for being here, Linda, to greet everyone. And next up, Sergeants at Arms, our Sergeants at Arms, Debbie and Sonia. Thank you very much for being here today. Web magician Kathy Coyle, public outreach. Kelly Bowers is always reaching out to the public on behalf of our Rotary Club. And last but not least, Tim Berry, videographer. Thank you, Tim. Great. So we do have quite a few guests and visiting Rotarians today, so let's kick it off with the visiting Rotarians today. We have one mic.
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to introduce two visiting Rotarians from the Rotary Club of Mountain House. I didn't even know they had a Rotary Club until today, but we're good to have them. We have Ronan Noah and Mike Zawari. They both work here in Livermore. Why don't you stand so everybody can see you?
Yes. I look forward to seeing, taking a little trip to Mountain House and seeing your Rotary Club. Thank you.
I'm pleased to introduce visiting Rotarian from India. And she is from Sudha Anandam Pillai. I'll tell you what that name means later. So she is a new Rotarian in a new Rotary Club that just started in December in Bangalore. And I'm very pleased to have you here. And it's a long name. Sudha means nectar. Anandam means happiness. Pillai means princess. That's what she is.
And we're looking forward here to this flag exchange between our two Rotary clubs across the continents. Wonderful day. Great. Okay, guests of Rotarians. Dennis.
We have a couple of guests at this table. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Please stand up.
Thank you. My name is Craig Birch. I'm Acting Deputy Chief of Administration. This is William Olivo. He's a firefighter paramedic in District 8, which is right here in Livermore. We're happy to be here. Thank you. Yeah, pleasure.
Are we going to jump back and forth, Dennis? Okay. All right. Yes.
Hello, I'm Paul Gallick. I'm the IT manager for the City of Livermore. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come here today. Really enjoy the youth and group event. Take them around, tour them. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Andrew Bellini. I'm the IT operations manager for the City of Livermore.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Brent Smith, Director of Community Development at the City of Livermore. A lot of people know me as the person that Paul tells me what to do.
And let's see.
I second. Don't tell me that I'm president of the Lions Club. Okay, sorry. So I snuck in here. I'm on the City Council. My name is Ben Barrientos.
Thank you for being here today.
Hello, I'm Christy Wong, Livermore Vice Mayor, and I want to thank the Rotary Club for hosting this wonderful lunch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christy.
Is that it? Thank you. I think we're done.
Okay. Paul, would you like to come up? Oh, we'll give you a few minutes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, announcements, of course. So excited about the presentation over there.
Okay, our crab feed, our major fundraiser, is a week from Saturday at 5 o'clock right here. And it says we're sold out, but there's still a few tickets. I know, Pat, you have a couple of tickets you'd like to
Yes,
sell.
we have 2 tickets available for Table 10, which Madeline and I are sponsoring.
Okay, and the next slide, I think there's a next slide, yeah. So I think we've been going around trying to pre-sale raffle tickets and drink tickets. So if you want to get a pre-sale and they'll be delivered at when you check in with no hassle, you can see Sonia or Deborah. Next, we still need, we've got enough wine for our wagon of wine, but we could still use a few bottles of alcohol in the harder variety for our barrel of booze that we sell. Yeah, it's best if they're unopened.
By the way, for the youth here, just disregard this slide.
Okay, next slide. And tomorrow at 5:15 is our next to last planning meeting, so everybody on the committee, please be there.
Okay, and last but not least, Joel, real quick, we're going to be circulating this for those Rotarians. We still have a few more slots that need to be filled for helpers, so please take a look at the spreadsheet. Thank you.
Joel, do you have a special video you'd like to roll?
Why, yes, I believe it's next.
Great.
As a lawyer, shy guy in Chi-Town, no high cloud. Start a club with 4 guys, no cash, just hide out. By trust and friendship, fellowship and truth, turn a local lunch into a force for the good. Name's Rotary, just a seed with a mission. 1905, growing faster than tradition. 4-way test, yeah, we aim with precision. From room 711 to a world-changing vision. Without a script, without a plan, they met and shook each other's hands and serve above ourselves. They said, now see the banner that they spread. There's a million strong who heed the call, fighting polio. We stand tall from Wales and Ghana to peace in Nepal. Rotary's revolution has touched us all. We the change makers, peacemakers, globetrotters, clean water bringers, child health supporters. We mentor the youth, build bridges, not borders, scholarship givers and frontline reporters. Eradicating polio, we take the shot. Partner with Gates, yeah, we give it all we got. In war zones, flood zones, drought and despair, Rotarians show up because we care.
We lift up girls, bring literacy to the streets, empower every voice where oppression repeats. Diversity, equity, inclusion, we own it. We're changing the world, don't need to postpone it. From Rotary Youth Exchange to the Peace Fellows, our vision rings out like a string of bold hellos. Not just meetings and meals, we bring solutions. This isn't a club, it's a quiet revolution.
Yo, we built it from local to global scale with a will that turns and never fails. Districts rise, zones unite, we shine the light in darkest night. Service projects grants and rise, changing lives before your eyes. And when the storm of need begins, you'll find Rotary rolling in. They'll know the name, Rotary. They'll feel the flame, Rotary. We fight disease, Rotary. We plant the seeds, Rotary. We are the ones who won't just wait for fate. We rise with hope, we educate, we don't throw away our shot to lead. We serve, we give, we plant the seed.
Just you wait, we are there, changing lives in every land, revolution led by serving
I saw that this week at President-elect training, and I said, this would be a great way to tell people what Rotary does. It's not just around our town, it's around the world.
Thank you.
Okay. Upcoming. There's always more. Okay. Upcoming on Saturday, April 11th, we're having a district learning academy, and all of those people on the board are invited. The speaker, this Gene Hatfield, is inspirational, and she's just funny as all get out. Anyway, so we can carpool there. It's a Ohlone College. The club will reimburse the $40 for the attendance, but you will learn a lot of things about your particular avenue of service when you go to this. So we'll be talking to you all soon. Thank you very much. Next.
So is Yvonne Hopkins here? Oh,
I'm ready.
Right there. Right.
I don't know if I can follow that. That's terrible. Okay, so also on this coming weekend in the theme, and by the way, I saw a lot of heads bobbing over here. You guys learned something about Rotary. We're not all old, right? So for over 60 years, the Rotary Club of Livermore has sponsored a group of students to come for 24 hours to Livermore to learn more about a typical small American town. And that date has been set for April 11th and 12th. Now, don't worry if you're doing the thing in the morning, because the morning we're going to have the students meeting the mayor, the police department. They'll hear from a speaker from the lab about computing technology. But my purpose here today is to put everybody on notice that we need host families for one night for a student. You pick them up at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You have them for a few hours. We have a potluck dinner, which everybody is invited to come to. There'll be sign-up sheets, don't worry. And then take them home for the night. The next morning, we've arranged something new this year. There's going to be a small hike out in Sycamore Grove, led by the rangers, so the students can get a feel for what Livermore's park and recreation and history, because that's a pretty historic park as well. Then along noon, you take your student maybe out to lunch and back to Berkeley again. So it's fun, 24 hours or a little less, but you learn a whole lot about another culture. How many people, raise your hands, have hosted students before? Pretty interesting thing for a one-day experience. So I know the first thing we always hear is, I gotta go home and check with my partner to make sure I can host. So this is the first week notice. I'm not gonna send around the sign up. Put April 11th on your calendar. Even if you're not gonna host a student, come to the potluck. It's always lots of fun to meet the students. And I think that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Speech contest, I think Stu available with Mike.
Yes.
Yes.
Just wanted to remind everybody again that on April 1st we'll be hosting the District 5170 Northern Regional Speech Contest. It'll start at noon, the lunch starts at noon, and then our meeting will start at 12:30. As far as the volunteers that we need, we now have 4 volunteers. I want to thank Pat Coyle and Carolyn Siegfried and Don Sweeney and Alan Burnham for stepping up and doing that. So should be a fantastic contest with 4 great speakers. And lastly, if you're a Red Badger, right, this will count as one of your activities. So you should attend.
Bonus there, yeah.
As Joel might have mentioned, next week we'll have our club assembly, led by yours truly, and help from everyone. Thank you. We'll give Stu a moment here to come to the podium, kick things off. Thank you, Stu.
All right, well, good morning, or I guess it's good afternoon now, isn't it? And welcome on behalf of Livermore Rotary Club. We're happy to have you all here today for Youth and Government Day. It's great to see so many students taking the time to learn about leadership and community service and how organizations work together to make a difference. You might be wondering, what is Rotary? Well, I think the video actually showed you. I had the whole thing written out here. But Rotary basically is leaders and professionals and volunteers who come together with one shared goal, and that's called service above self. We do international projects like you heard with the Polio Plus, trying to eradicate polio. We also locally support scholarships for students, local nonprofits, and community service projects that help strengthen our city. So programs like Youth in Government Day are especially important to us because Rotary believes strongly in supporting and encouraging the next generation of leaders, which is you, right? So, next, we're going to ask the students who are here, who have attended Youth in Government Day, to stand up and just tell us your name. Just do these things right here and let us know what the experience was like. So there are 2 microphones out here. I'll let you guys, Sheila and Dennis.
My name is Tejas Tandon. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Jake, and what I learned is about how we treat our water at the water treatment facility.
All right, I'm Levi Breeze. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Nathan Brumley, and I learned about the microfilm machine to look back at old newspapers.
My name is Mansour Timuri from Livermore High School. I shadowed Jake Potter, and I learned about civic investments.
My name is Fernando Calzada. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Shelly and Natalia, and I learned about housing.
My name is Emma Silva. I go to Granada. I shadowed Nathan Grumley at the library, and I learned about all the cool stuff the library does and all the programs they put on, and it was really neat.
I'm Jack Pulowski. I go to Granada. I shadowed Christy Wing, and I learned about just the day-to-day activities of a council member.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ian Romero. I go to Granada, and I shadowed Jason Calkins, and I learned how the AC works in the buildings and stuff. Yeah.
My name is Genesis, and I go to Granada High School, and I shadowed JC at the police department, and I learned how to shoot a gun. My name is Jacqueline Ramirez. I go to Granada. I shadowed Brent Smith, and something I learned was about engineering.
My name is Diana Martinez. I'm from Granada High School. I shadowed Juan in engineering, and something I learned about was how much teamwork there actually is in engineering and how many job opportunities there are.
Honestly, I go to Livermore High School, and I shadowed Amanda and Eddie, and I just learned about human resources.
My name is Joy, and I go to Granada High School, and I shadowed Paul Spence, and I learned about all the public works projects done in downtown.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I go to Granada High School. I shadowed Mr. Greg, and he does inspection and neighborhood preservation. And we talked about a lot of murals, and he also showed me framework and stuff for buildings.
is Mira Sugar. I go to Granada High School. I shadowed Fire Chief Aaron Lacey. I learned a lot about what they do on their day-to-day job and EMT opportunities after high school.
My name's Ria Anand. I go to Granada High School, and I shadowed Miss Kim Seeley, I think that's how you say it. And I learned about what it's like to be a city attorney.
Hi, my name is Siona. I shadowed Vice Mayor Wong, and I learned about the different type of committees she was on, as well as like how redistricting works within the city, and just school budget cuts and what's going on with that.
Hi, my name is Amanda Toomey. I go to Livermore High. I shadowed Miss Bichette at the district office, and I learned about everyone who helps us get education.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm Brooke, and we shadowed Chief Aaron Lacey at the fire department.
And we learned all that goes into firefighting and how much EMT is in it.
Thank you.
My name is Joey. I go to Granada, and I shadowed Tracy, and I got to also shoot a gun.
My name is Diego Cruz. I go to Granada. I shadowed Justin and Scott.
Hi, my name is Ashika Anand. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Mr. Paul Spence in the city manager's office, and I learned more about urban development and the different projects that are happening around Livermore.
Hi, my name is Tali Snabaldi. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Miss Tina Olson, and I learned about administrative services and economics.
Hi, my name is Nishka. I go to Livermore High School, and I shadowed Khaled Sawan, and I just learned what it was like to be in the finance department. My name is Rashida, and I go to Granada, and I shadowed Kimberly at the attorney's office, and I just learned what it's like to be an attorney.
My name is Sagar. I go to Livermore. I shadowed Paul and Andrew. I learned that IT should be more appreciated. My name is Julian Navarro. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Paul and Andrew as well, and I learned that IT is really stressful.
My name is Ethan. I go to Livermore. I shadowed Justin and Scott. I learned to do like maintenance on fleet vehicles.
Hi, my name is Jordan Hauser, and I am from Livermore. I shadowed Tracy Meredith, and she showed us what daily life was as a cop and how they help our community, and I also got to shoot a gun, so that was cool.
Hi, my name is Abigail Bocage. I go to Livermore High School, and I shadowed with the fire department, and I got to learn all about the fire engine and all the responsibilities they have to keep our community safe.
Hi, I'm Audrey Rosa. I shadowed Christine at Sycamore Grove Park. That was really fun. I learned, along with the kids that were there, how to find water and how to start a fire.
Hi, my name's Eleanor. I go to Livermore High. I shadowed Miss Tracy, and I learned about the different evidence in the police department.
I'm Natalie Miller, and I go to Livermore High, and I shadowed Stephanie and Sonia, and I learned a lot about communications and how important it is in local government. I'm Abby Darling. I go to Livermore High School. I shadowed Kim Seeley, and I learned a lot about law school.
We get everybody?
I think so.
All right, how about a round of applause for all our students? And so next is now to introduce our speaker for today is Bob Carlin, who is someone who's been involved in Livermore government for quite a while. So, thank you, Bob.
Yes, thank you. And it's my pleasure to introduce somebody that I've known for several years now, Paul Spence. Let me give you a little background about Paul's training, I guess. He went to Pomona College as an undergraduate. Then he spent 5 years in Japan teaching English, where I think he met his wife, if that's what I think. Is that right?
Yes,
oh, there he is. Okay. Where he met his wife. And then he went to graduate school at UC Irvine, where he learned all about planning, city planning. He was hired by our own Mark Roberts in 2001 and has worked his way up from an associate planner to begin with to the director of community development, which is the job that Brent has now. And now Paul is the assistant city manager. A personal reflection, when I joined city council in 2016, I was a lot like most of the students here. I didn't know very much about city government and what all the jobs were within the city. One of the things that I was educated pretty early on in joining city council was the quality that we enjoy of all the people that work in city government here in Livermore. And Paul is no exception. I see Stephanie Egidio. She didn't get introduced, but she's also a city employee. We have such quality. Oh, there's Mr. Brumley's back there too. I see him. So there's other city employees here besides the ones that we met over here. Anyway, my point is that I think we should all, as residents of Livermore, be thankful that we have such high-quality people running our city and managing all the projects that go on a day-to-day basis. I know we probably see what's going on downtown every day, but it's all for the betterment of this community. And I'm pleased and proud to have worked with Paul for 8 years while I was on City Council, and certainly my pleasure to introduce him today. Paul Spence.
All right, thank you so much. I do feel now like with the Rotary video, the gauntlet has been thrown down, and the city next year is going to need a video with a walk-up song and like the whole thing, right? So we're going to work on that. I didn't realize we were going to get shown up like this, but I'll do my best. So I am a member of the Rotary. You'll see that I have a red badge, which means I'm still early in my Rotary career. I'm a bit of a newbie. I'm on probation. But Rotary is a great organization. They do fantastic work. And as you advance in your lives, you should think about Rotary or other service organizations as a way to give back. All right, so I'm going to provide an update on the city. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the structure and philosophy and how we operate, our strategic plan, and then we're going to focus more on some of the projects that we work on. So a little bit hard to read, but everything that we do is focused around our vision, mission, and values. And the vision is to promote a safe, healthy, welcoming community. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for our residents and all of our visitors. And then our values are really our ethical standards around honesty and integrity and how we operate. That's our foundation. That goes into everything that we do. Strategic plan is our organizing document. So we have a 5-year plan. It runs this current one from 2023 to 2028. And everything that we do in the city is formulated around that strategic plan. We've got 5 community pillars, and again, everything we do fits into one of these pillars. You've got safe community that thrives, economy that prospers, environmental legacy, inclusive and inviting places and spaces, and a city that works. So all of our work fits into the strategic plan in one of these categories in some way or other. And the strategic plan itself is based on a variety of factors. It's based on community input. So we do a lot of work to reach out to you all and get your feedback. It's based on input from our council members. We've got former and current council members here with us today. And I will, back to Bob, I'll say we are really fortunate to have quality people with a great deal of integrity and thoughtfulness step forward and work on our council. And that is the leadership that we have here in Livermore, and we're lucky to have it. So the council weighs in. We've got a community survey that we do. We have reference documents like our general plan, and then we know some of the things that we need to work on just to upgrade and maintain our community. So that all goes into the strategic plan, and then that informs the budget, the projects that we work on, and some of our policies. And so we talked about reaching out to the community. We do that in a whole variety of different ways, but one of them is through a national community survey. And we do this every 2 years. Cities around the country do this and get feedback from their residents. And we ask about a variety of different factors: economy, mobility, safety, health and wellness. The cities around the country all ask about the same essential categories. We get about 5 questions that are specific to us. But in Livermore, if you look in the top right there, quality of life, I'm getting feedback. I'm going to keep moving until it goes away. Closer to the mic, is that better? Yeah. Okay. It sounds loud from here, but okay. So overall quality of life in Livermore, 96% of people said that it's either good or excellent, which is amazing. And you can't get 96% or 94% of people to agree on most things. So we're pretty lucky to live in a community like this. And we have a very engaged community as well. So budget, we'll touch on this just briefly. This is our 25-26 budget. And the majority of our budget, over 60%, comes from property tax and sales tax. Those are our 2 major sources of funding. Every time you buy something in Livermore, and I will encourage you to shop in Livermore, we like that. And if you own property in Livermore, that revenue comes through to the city. The vast majority of it goes to the state and to the county, but the cities get a small share. And so that's how we help fund our operations. Other revenues come in for fees for service from grants and other small taxes and a little bit of revenue on investment and things like that. Our spending general fund budget is $154 million, and not surprisingly, over half of that goes to public safety. And when you ask people what's important to them, public safety is the top response all the time. So it's our firefighters, our police officers, and our firefighters are typically not responding to fires as often as they're responding to medical calls. And so it really is health and safety of the community. That's about 54% of our overall budget. The rest, library, public works, community development, general administration, that makes up the rest of the services that we provide. And then around town, this is a bit of the fun stuff. I'm going to tell you about some of the projects that we're working on and some of the things that are coming your way. So the first one I wanted to talk about is up in Springtown. It's in the entryway to Springtown as you come over the freeway overpass from First Street. We're working on a new park. Some of you may recall that there used to be a golf course in Springtown, and we weren't getting enough people to play. The golf course was becoming very expensive for the city to maintain. A little over 10 years ago or so, the city decided to discontinue operation of that golf course, and the residents had a vote, and they voted that this space should always be either open space or parks. And so the city has put together some resources. We're working on a park project that we're really excited about. Have a large lawn and play area, playgrounds, some tables and a gazebo, and a community garden. So it's going to be a really fantastic resource for neighbors in that part of town. And in addition, there's going to be a disc golf course where the former golf course used to be. And it's a little hard to see, but disc golf is frisbee golf, essentially. And the really sophisticated players have multiple sizes of discs, just like you have multiple golf clubs. And there are fairways, you have a par, you're trying to hit. And so you can go all around the whole golf course now with the disc golf course that's going to be put in place. So great for kids of all ages. We recommend that you come out and try it. And this overall project should be complete later this year, sometime in the fall. All right, downtown, we've just recently completed and opened our L Street Garage in 2016, and this was a project we worked on with Bob where we talked about what's the next phase of development in downtown, Downtown 2.0. People came out and said, parking is really important. We want to be able to come and enjoy the downtown, but we need a place to park. And so we built a 450-space parking garage right near the corner of 1st and L Streets. You can go online and identify how many spaces are open. When you get into the garage, there are little green and red lights that tell you where spaces are open. It's very sophisticated and beautiful. So if you haven't tried it out, we definitely recommend it. I was down for the Livermore Half Marathon to watch some friends running, and this parking garage was almost full, so it's nice to see it well used. And this is kind of a public-private partnership. This is Blacksmith Square expansion. The city worked on the installation of Stockman's Park. This was some property that we owned, and we sold this property around the park, along Livermore Avenue and along Railroad there at the corner, to a local developer, Mike Madden. And he owned Blacksmith Square, which was the businesses there at the corner. And he's in the midst of expanding that project with similar buildings, brick buildings to maintain that historic look. There's a 2-story building there at the corner, which is going to have rooftop dining, and you'll be able to look out on Stockman's Park. So this project should be completed later this fall. Story Coffee has announced that they'll be opening a second location at Blacksmith Square. And so you'll be able to come out and dine and have coffee and enjoy this space as it was intended, and it's going to be open again later this year. The 2-story building will probably be early next year by the time it has tenants. Pacific Avenue Senior Apartments. So behind the Civic Center Library on Pacific Avenue, we're working on a 140-unit apartment project for lower-income seniors. So these are people on a fixed income, maybe with only Social Security to help them. And Phase 1 is under construction. The buildings are up out of the ground. You can see the complete form of those buildings today. We're putting the roofs on. The Phase 1 should be done later this year, and we're working with our partners on final fundraising for Phase 2. And with all of these affordable projects, the city provided the land, for example, and we provided some basic seed funding. We've got a nonprofit partner that is actually constructing and will be operating this project. We're talking about teens today. We have an exciting project, the Teen Center at the Livermore Library. So we have a youth commission that's provided some feedback to us. We've engaged with young people that come to the library to get their feedback. What kind of a space do they need? How do they want to engage? So this teen center is going to start construction later this year and will be finished sometime early to mid next year. It's within the existing footprint of the library, but will provide study space, activity space, gathering space, space for programs and things that support our youth. So we're pleased to bring that forward. And we are, as the city, constantly thinking about how do we engage people at all ages and try to meet their needs. I wanted to talk a little bit about the environment. So Livermore has been a Tree City USA for 31 years. We are very focused on sustainability. We have a climate action plan that we're working to implement. We have a goal to plant 1,000 trees over the next 10 years. And so we're planting about 100 a year. This last year we planted 95, so we're on target each year to meet that overall goal. And then we also have a kind of exciting pilot project. The Rotary Club members may remember that there's a group of students at the high schools that worked with the Quest Science Center, and they did a heat mapping project. They came to the Rotary this fall and presented that information. And they identified that the area north of downtown is the hottest in the city, about 10 degrees hotter than other areas in town, which is quite a lot. And part of that, a big part of it, is tree cover. So the city has a pilot project, and we're looking for some additional funding, but we're going to provide some trees to residents in that neighborhood to plant in their front and backyard. So free trees, free planting materials. We're even trying to work with some local groups to help with the planting if residents need help with the planting. And we're pleased to bring this project forward for Earth Day this year in Livermore. So hopefully that tree canopy as it grows will help to cool that neighborhood over time. EV parking, we've added about 100 stalls over the last year for electric vehicle charging, and we just recently got a grant from the state to add 100 more for our fleet. So we are in the process slowly of electrifying our fleet. As a gas vehicle ends its service life, we're looking to buy either a plug-in hybrid or a complete electric vehicle. And we're getting a grant from the state to add some additional charging stations throughout all of our facilities. New businesses. I'm always convinced that our economic development team gets to do the fun stuff, right? So they get to help promote and bring these new businesses to town. So these are some of the ones that are recently opened and coming soon. We've got a couple pizza places in the downtown, Slice House and Zachary's. If you're into vintage clothing, you can go to Best Buds, or if you're like me, you just look in your closet and you find the old stuff. But we've got that coming. Meadowlark Dairy. When I first came to Livermore, we were so jealous of Pleasanton's downtown. And I think we've come a long way since 2001, but getting a Meadowlark Dairy in the downtown is a big win and a lot of fun. It'd be great this summer, right? Other places at the outlets, Birkenstock, Miami Racing, there. We've also got Dolce & Gabbana, so if you're into luxury Italian fashion, that is the place to go for that, if you want to have that sort of Mediterranean look. Johnny Fly is a new sunglasses shop, and I mentioned Story Coffee coming to Blacksmith Square. All right, our general plan update. So the general plan is the guiding policy document that the city has that looks out 20 years. So our current general plan is coming to the end of its useful life. We've been working on this, doing community outreach for the last few years. Farmers markets, streets fairs, special meetings. We've got a general plan advisory committee that provides feedback to us through this process. And we look out, again, over the next 20 years through 2045 at things like how do we want to envision our land uses? What about open space and preservation? How should our mobility needs be met? What about bike lanes through the city? A whole variety, every category that you can think of is included as a policy through our general plan update. It's live, it's available on the website. We would encourage anybody that's interested to go in and take a look at it, review it, give us some feedback. There's still a final chance for feedback and some tweaks before it goes to the City Council and the Planning Commission and then City Council in July of this year. So that's the schedule for the general plan update. And then engaging our youth. So we were really pleased to have this program today where the students came and talked to us. They did a mock City Council meeting. Appreciate the Rotary in helping to support this, LARPD, the school district. It's a great collaboration that we work on to help our students get a sense of what government is like. But we do other things as well. We have a teen academy in the summer where we invite high school students to come back and spend a few weeks with us. They do a version of an internship program and learn more about the city. We have regular internship programs for college students. So particularly Las Positas college students, we encourage them, or any student that's lived in Livermore and has come back, maybe from college someplace else. We have internship programs available in the summer. We have a Livermore Youth Council. I mentioned them. We engaged them around the Teen Academy. So there are a variety of ways that we engage our youth. And then finally, community information and feedback. There's a whole variety of ways that we try to engage with you. We do that online, through social media, through our website. We have a critical projects update that updates people on the website each week on the projects we're doing and the things that we're involved with. We're out at farmers markets, we're coming to Rotary events and engaging with you all here. We're a better government when we hear from you and when you engage with us. So we certainly encourage you to reach out and chat with us, give us your feedback. And that's what I've got for today, but I think I can take a question or two if anybody has one.
You certainly touched on this, but if I were giving advice to, say, my grandchildren, would you say there's a career path in city management? I mean, would it be something you'd advise them to go into?
Absolutely. So I will say when I was, the age of all of these students, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something that would give back, that would benefit somebody other than just myself. right? And I did a lot of reading, and after college, I did a lot of studying, and ended up going to grad school to sort of reframe my career. But if you want to give back, if you're interested in service, if you want to help your local community and feel really good about your career in terms of the benefit that you're providing, local government is a fantastic opportunity. Yeah, thank you for the question.
So speaking, looking
Where?
over here. I'm like, you see, speaking of Meadowlark Dairy, they took over a building that had a drive-through.
Yes.
I love the thing in Pleasanton with the drive-through, but I'm hearing mixed messages. Are they going to be having a drive-through at the Livermore Meadowlark Dairy?
They have no plans for a drive-through. They have identified they just want to be a walk-up location. And honestly, as somebody that is concerned about downtown traffic, that's okay with me, because if you go to Pleasanton in the summer, you're lined up around the block with traffic that backs things up. So they've told us just walk up in Livermore.
So Paul, thank you so much. This was a really entertaining and engaging presentation today, and I'm really happy that we had so many youth here to hear all about the great things that are going on, and the Rotary video. My question is about I can see the senior housing building up. Is that a similar project to what you did with Pedrosi Common? And is that the same partner?
So not the same partner. We work with a variety of different nonprofit partners on senior housing projects, but the city has an overall goal. I guess I should take a step back. The state requires us to plan for a certain amount of housing, and they require us to plan for housing in multiple income categories. Actually, the state, through an 8-year period right now, requires Livermore to plan for 4,500 new housing units, right? And so we have to get really creative in how we do that. And the state also requires us to plan for a range of incomes. Lower income housing is part of that, right? And so we have an aging community. There is strong demand for senior housing, and so we work with a variety of different partners, and this senior housing project also has some specific funding focused on veterans. So we're excited to have a range of funding sources, and hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
A few more out here.
Yeah, I've got a question real quick. I saw what looks like light construction. I'm sorry, I saw what looks like light construction for street lights or something on East Avenue. Is that actually occurring?
Yes, that is occurring. So we have a two-phase project. We have a two-phase project for East Avenue. The first one is a street lighting project, which will go in and try to make that whole area brighter. And the second piece, you've seen now for a few years now, a temporary demonstration project for bulb outs and to shorten crossing distances. The whole idea is to make that safer for students that are walking to and from school, both East Avenue and Livermore High. And so that project also will become permanent. I think that one's going to happen next year, but both of those phases are either under construction or getting close. Yeah.
Paul?
Thank you so much, Paul, for that engaging presentation, and thank you for all the city staff who came today and all the students who participated. It's really great to see your curiosity in local government. And my question is really on behalf of the students, and maybe you can enlighten all of us. Many of us have students in their lives. What would you say are the variety of educational pathways to be able to work for the city? Some students will maybe not be interested in a 4-year degree. Others will be willing to go all the way through graduate school. So I'm curious about that.
So we run the gamut. It's a great question. Thank you, Londa. We have a whole variety of different opportunities, I think, as our students probably saw today. So if you're interested in the sciences, we've got water and wastewater, which requires folks that maybe want to do something technical on the environmental side. We've got our fleet shop and our maintenance service centers for maybe folks that are interested more in a vocational approach and learning about maintaining buildings or maintaining vehicles or other things. We have folks that, like myself, started in planning. We have administration. We have law. We have human resources, whole variety. I mean, we're like a giant corporation, honestly, in all of the things that we do. And so if you're interested in public service, there are a number of different ways that you can fit that in. And regardless of the exact degree that you pursue, you still have an opportunity to come back and think about local government. So for the students who are here today, think about our summer program for high school students. And then when you go off to college, think about coming back and being interns. Some of the best staff that we have at the city were interns. We get to test you all out, and if you do a great job, we're interested in hiring you on for life. So, thank you.
Yeah, question. I want to say thank you, Paul, and also to Stu Frazier for putting this together, or working, making this happen, and our president, Pat. I certainly understand the housing, senior housing on Pacific, and they're low-income seniors. The first thing I thought about when you were saying that was, flip that over. What about the young people in this room, the youth in this room? They're going to be low-income youth once they graduate from high school.
Yes.
And to me, it just makes sense to be fair and somehow or another explore the same type of, I don't want to say entitlement, but it is in a way. You're entitled to, I understand, but just flip it over and tell me what's planned in terms of the city supporting the young people that are residents living here and working at the ice cream store.
So great question. Thank you, Michael. The city does work with partners to do a variety of lower income housing projects for people of all ages, backgrounds, and even income levels. We accumulate certain funds and we work with partners and do individual projects. We also require developers who build new housing to have 15% of their housing set aside as affordable as well. And so we have housing types that are available for a whole range of different incomes, for a whole range of different ages. Some of the money that comes to us specifically is for things like senior housing, and so we're able to conglomerate that. But in the downtown, we have, near the L Street Garage, Eden Housing has some housing that is permitted, and that is at income levels that is designed for people that are perhaps living and working in and around the downtown. It's for people that have, an early or mid-career job, that have some funding coming in but can't afford the regular expenses of high-cost housing.
All right, so this is a little lighter question than Michael's for you. On Saturday, I had dinner downtown, and we parked in the L Street Garage, and I took the opportunity to park on the 4th floor because it was right at sunset. And so it was a beautiful place to enjoy the sunset. So where is your favorite place in Livermore to watch the sunset?
Great question. So, and I will say, if you get up to 3 or 4 stories in Livermore, beautiful views, absolutely. I like to run, and so I go out to Del Val, run and hike. And I love to be just outside the downtown. You go up past Wente to the Arroyo staging area and climb up the hill. That's a beautiful spot to see the community and see both the sunrise and the sunset.
We have time for one more.
I know that the Interfaith Council is working on a senior project, low-income senior project. Is that the Pacific project you're talking about?
Yes, that is.
So it's Interfaith Council sponsored, is that the one?
Interfaith Housing, yes, that's right. All right. Thank you, everybody.
I just wanted to thank Paul very much for taking time out of his very busy schedule to present his presentation to us today. Very insightful, full of new information we haven't heard before. Thank you very much, Paul. So, before we ring the bell, next week, as Joel noted earlier, we'll have our club assembly, and that will be at Robert Livermore Community Center at the Palo Verde room, is it? Great. Okay, good. Thank you all for being here today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.